over 60, 10 vitamins you should never take, and safer alternatives. Have you ever wondered if the very vitamins sitting in your kitchen cabinet are hurting you instead of helping? For seniors over 60, that's not just a small concern. It could mean weaker bones, a higher chance of falls, even problems with your heart or memory. Dr. Eric Berg, a well-known health expert, has revealed shocking evidence that many common vitamins and minerals, the ones you thought were keeping you senior healthy, may secretly be putting your health at risk. And here's the scary part. These dangerous ingredients are still allowed on the shelves because they're cheap to make and bring massive profits to big supplement companies. Their priority isn't your senior wellness or your healthy aging, it's their bottom line. If you've ever trusted a multivitamin without really reading the label, this video might change the way you look at supplements forever. Stick with me, because in the next few minutes you'll discover the 10 vitamins you should never take if you care about senior health and want to protect your healthy life. 1. Synthetic beta-carotene. Let's start with something that might surprise you: synthetic beta-carotene. Many seniors believe that beta-carotene is just another name for vitamin A, but that's not true. Beta-carotene is what we call a precursor. It has to be converted by your body into active vitamin A. Here's the problem. That conversion is not very efficient, especially as we age. For someone over 60, your ability to turn beta-carotene into usable vitamin A is much weaker than it was when you were younger. That means, if you rely on this synthetic form, you could end up with very little of the real vitamin A your body actually needs for your eyes, your immune system, and your healthy aging. And that's where things start to get dangerous. Now, here's the part that really shocked me when I first heard Dr. Eric Berg explain it. Most synthetic beta-carotene is not harvested from bright, colorful vegetables. It's not natural at all. Instead, it's often made in factories from coal tar derivatives, the same stuff used in industrial chemicals. Think about that for a second. You might believe you're buying something that comes from carrots, but instead, you're swallowing something that comes from petroleum. That's not exactly what most of us think of when we picture senior wellness, right? And here's where it gets even scarier. Large clinical trials, like the famous ATBC study funded by the National Cancer Institute, followed tens of thousands of smokers who took synthetic beta-carotene supplements. The results were shocking. Instead of protecting the lungs, this synthetic form actually increased the risk of lung cancer by about 18%. The risk wasn't seen in people eating natural beta-carotene from foods like carrots or sweet potatoes. It was only in those taking the synthetic pill form. For seniors, especially if you've ever smoked or been exposed to secondhand smoke, that's a huge red flag. The very supplement you thought was helping your health could actually be quietly raising your risk for one of the deadliest diseases. So what's the solution? The natural version of beta-carotene found in whole foods is protective and safe. Eating colorful vegetables like carrots, pumpkin, and spinach has been linked to better eye health, stronger immunity, and even the prevention of chronic diseases. Instead of paying for a cheap pill that might hurt you, lean on real food that supports your senior health and your healthy life every single day. Dr. Eric Berg always reminds us that nature provides the form our body understands best, and that's true here too. And this is just the beginning. If synthetic beta-carotene can have these hidden risks, imagine what else could be hiding in your vitamin cabinet. Stay with me, because the next vitamin on our list is even more common, and it could be draining your body's natural defenses without you even realizing it. Before we move on, let me ask, have you ever taken a supplement without really checking the label? Drop a comment with the number 1 if you've done that before, because you're not alone. And while you're here, hit the like button to let me know this information is useful for your senior health journey. 2. Synthetic vitamin B12, cyanocobalamin. Next on our list is synthetic vitamin B12, often labeled as cyanocobalamin. Now that word cyano should sound familiar. It comes from cyanide. Yes, this version of B12 actually carries a tiny molecule of cyanide with it. While the amount is small, the real issue is that your body has to work harder to process it. To turn cyanocobalamin into the active form your cells can use, your body needs glutathione, one of your most important antioxidants. For seniors, glutathione levels naturally decline with age, which means this conversion becomes even less efficient. Instead of boosting your health, too much of this synthetic version can actually drain your antioxidant reserves. leaving your body more vulnerable to oxidative stress. Research from the NIH Office of Dietary Supplements confirms that cyanocobalamin is widely used because it's cheap and stable, but other forms like methylcobalamin are more bioavailable and remain in the body longer. According to Mayo Clinic, B12 deficiency is especially common in older adults. Nearly 20% of people over 60 may have low levels. That means seniors are already at risk, and using a weaker synthetic form only makes it harder for your body to catch up. The situation is even worse for smokers, since cigarettes already expose you to small amounts of cyanide. Combining that with cyanocobalamin may put extra strain on your detox pathways. So what's the better choice? The natural forms of B12, like methylcobalamin, are easier for your body to use and last longer in your system. And of course, the most reliable sources are still foods like red meat, eggs, and liver. Dr. Eric Berg often points out that when it comes to senior health and healthy aging, the body responds best to nutrients in their natural form. If you want to stay senior healthy and protect your energy, memory, and nerves, choosing the right form of B12 makes all the difference. And this is only the second item on our list. If synthetic B12 can quietly drain your antioxidants, wait until you hear about the next vitamin, which hides in many multivitamins and can silently weaken your bones if you're not careful. Before we move forward, let me ask, have you ever checked what type of B12 is in your supplement? Comment below with yes or no, and don't forget to subscribe to Healthy 247 so you never miss these senior health tips. 3. Synthetic vitamin A, retinol palmitate or retinol acetate. Now let's talk about synthetic vitamin A, which you might see on a label as retinol palmitate or retinol acetate. On the surface, vitamin A sounds great. It's essential for your eyes, your immune system, even the lining of your lungs and digestive tract. But here's the hidden problem. Synthetic vitamin A has to be converted into the active form before your body can use it. For many seniors, that conversion isn't very efficient. Instead, this synthetic form can accumulate in your liver and fat cells. Over time, that buildup may turn toxic. Doctors have known for years that too much preformed vitamin A can cause headaches, dizziness, bone loss, and even liver damage. According to the NIH Office of Dietary Supplements, long-term intake above 10,000 IU per day can increase the risk of fractures, especially in older adults. Harvard Health also notes that high doses during pregnancy can lead to birth defects, which is why women are always cautioned about supplements containing this form. And here's something most people never hear. Synthetic vitamin A is often added to skin creams and lotions. When it's exposed to UV light, like sunlight, it can break down into compounds that increase skin damage instead of preventing it. That's the exact opposite of what you want when protecting your senior health and healthy aging. So what's the better option? Natural sources of vitamin A are safer and far more effective. Foods like egg yolks, beef liver, and cod liver oil give you the active form directly, without forcing your body through that inefficient conversion. Dr. Eric Berg emphasizes that seniors should get vitamin A from real food, not a cheap synthetic pill that can backfire. If you want to protect your eyesight at night, keep your immune system strong, and support your overall senior wellness, focus on natural nutrition. And here's the real kicker. If synthetic vitamin A can interfere with bone health and even raise your fracture risk, just wait until you hear about the next vitamin. It's another common supplement that millions take every day, but in the wrong form, it may silently raise your risk for cancer. Keep watching, because the next one is a hidden danger most people never talk about. 4. Folic acid, synthetic vitamin B9. Here's another one that sounds harmless, but can cause real trouble. Folic acid. This is the synthetic form of vitamin B9, different from the natural folate you get from dark leafy greens. The problem is that around 30 to 40% of people carry a genetic variant called MTHFR, which makes it hard for their bodies to convert folic acid into active folate. If that conversion doesn't happen, folic acid starts to build up in the blood. Some studies have linked this buildup to immune suppression and even higher cancer risk. For seniors, that's the last thing you want, especially when your immune system is already more fragile. The CDC reminds us that folate is essential for healthy cells, but it's best to get it from natural food sources. Spinach, kale, and broccoli deliver folate in the form your body understands. Dr. Eric Berg often stresses that supplements should work with your biology, not against it. Choosing folate instead of folic acid could protect your senior health and support healthy aging. And if you think folic acid is confusing, wait until you hear about the next mineral. It's one of the heaviest in your supplement bottle, but instead of strengthening your body, it could be putting your heart at risk. 5. Calcium carbonate. Now let's look at calcium carbonate, the form of calcium found in most cheap multivitamins. If you've ever noticed how heavy that supplement bottle feels, it's because it's basically filled with chalk. While calcium is important for bones, this form is poorly absorbed and often ends up where it doesn't belong, like in your arteries or kidneys. The Women's Health Initiative study showed that calcium supplements, especially without magnesium, can increase the risk of kidney stones. Some research has even raised concerns about heart health when calcium is taken in large, isolated doses. Seniors often believe more calcium means stronger bones, but without balance, it may do more harm than good. Instead, the safer solution is to get calcium from real foods like yogurt, kefir, cheese, and leafy greens, where it's paired naturally with other nutrients. And before we go on, let me pause to say this. If you don't want your supplements to silently harm your heart or bones, make sure you subscribe to Healthy 247 right now and share this video with your friends. Too many seniors still trust these cheap pills, and the only way to protect them is by spreading real health tips that lead to a healthier life. Because if calcium carbonate can mislead millions, the next mineral on our list is even more shocking. It's so poorly absorbed that you might as well be throwing your money away. 6. Magnesium oxide. Magnesium is one of the most important minerals for seniors. It helps your muscles relax, supports better sleep, and keeps your heart rhythm steady. But not all forms of magnesium are equal. The cheapest and most common version, magnesium oxide, is almost useless for your body. Studies show that it has an absorption rate of only about 4%, meaning if you take a 500 milligram pill, you may only get 20 magnesium. The rest passes right through, often causing diarrhea. And when that happens, you actually lose more electrolytes, leaving your body weaker instead of stronger. For seniors already dealing with leg cramps, poor sleep, or high stress, this form can be a trap. It promises relief but often delivers the opposite. The better solution is magnesium glycinate or citrate, which absorb much more efficiently and provide real benefits without upsetting your stomach. And if magnesium oxide isn't giving your body what it needs, the next nutrient is even more dangerous. It's a metal that builds up inside you and your body has no natural way to get rid of it. Stay with me, because missing this next part could mean ignoring a hidden risk for diabetes, liver disease, and even memory loss. 7. Iron ferrous sulfate. Here's where things get really serious. Iron is a mineral we all need, but in the wrong form, it can quietly destroy your health. The cheap version, ferrous sulfate, is like swallowing rust. Your body has no natural way to get rid of excess iron, so it builds up in your organs. For seniors, especially men and postmenopausal women, that buildup can be toxic. Research shows that iron overload is linked to type 2 diabetes, liver damage, Parkinson's, and even Alzheimer's disease. Imagine taking a pill every day, thinking it will give you energy, while in reality it's slowly corroding your body from the inside out. That's the nightmare scenario too many older adults face without even realizing it. But let me be clear, not every pharmaceutical company is out to trick you. Many produce high-quality, trustworthy supplements. The real key is knowing which ones to avoid and which ones to trust. Instead of grabbing the cheapest bottle, focus on reputable brands and whenever possible, get your iron from natural food sources like lean red meat or liver. That way you protect your senior health and avoid the hidden dangers of synthetic forms. And if you're still here watching, drop the number 2 in the comments so I know you're staying with me. Because the next vitamin on our list is taken by millions every day, yet in its synthetic form, it may be far weaker than you think. 8. Synthetic vitamin D, ergocalciferol, or D2. Vitamin D is one of the most critical nutrients for seniors. Yet, here's where many people get misled. The synthetic version, called ergocalciferol, or vitamin D2, is often prescribed in high doses. But studies, including reviews from the National Institutes of Health and Harvard Health, show that vitamin D2 is far less effective than vitamin D3 at raising and maintaining blood levels of this nutrient. One meta-analysis found that D3 was about twice as effective as D2 in improving vitamin D status. The problem is that D2 doesn't bind as strongly to the proteins that transport it through your blood, which means your body can't use it as well. For seniors, this is a big deal. Low vitamin D is linked to weaker bones, higher fracture risk, depression, and even weaker immunity. If you're relying on D2, you may think you're covered, but in reality, your body could still be starving for the vitamin D it truly needs. The solution is simple. Choose vitamin D3, ideally paired with K2, and get safe sun exposure when you can. This combination supports bone strength, heart health, and overall healthy aging in a way that synthetic D2 simply cannot. And if D2 can leave you with a false sense of security, the next nutrient is even trickier. It hides in everyday foods and oils, fueling silent inflammation that chips away at your health year after year. 9. Omega-6 fats, linoleic acid. Now let's talk about omega-6 fats, especially in the form of linoleic acid. Dr. Eric Berg has often warned that while our bodies need a little omega-6, the modern American diet has gone way overboard. According to the National Institutes of Health, the average person in the U.S. consumes up to 25 times more omega-6 than omega-3, when ideally, the ratio should be much closer. Why does that matter? Because too much omega-6 promotes inflammation, while omega-3 from fish and flax helps calm it down. For seniors, chronic inflammation is linked to arthritis, heart disease, and even memory decline. The tricky part is that omega-6 hides in everyday foods, salad dressings, fried items, and almost every processed snack made with soy oils like soybean, corn, or sunflower oil. The solution isn't to fear every bit of omega-6, but to balance it with more omega-3s. Choose salmon, sardines, cod liver oil, or grass-fed meats to bring the ratio back to a healthier level. As Dr. Berg reminds us, the right balance of fats can make a huge difference in senior health, mobility, and healthy aging. And if omega-6 can stir up silent inflammation, the next nutrient on our list is even more dangerous. It's a trace mineral you actually need in small amounts, but too much of it can accumulate in your brain and raise concerns about Alzheimer's. 10. Copper. Finally, let's talk about copper, a trace mineral that sounds harmless but can be very dangerous in the wrong form or dose. According to the National Institutes of Health, NIH, copper is essential in small amounts, but too much, especially from low-quality supplements, can cause more harm than good. Instead of protecting your cells, excess copper can trigger oxidation and inflammation. The Mayo Clinic has noted that copper overload may damage the liver and nervous system, while Harvard Health reports growing evidence linking high copper levels with amyloid plaques in the brain, the same type of changes seen in Alzheimer's disease. For seniors, that's especially alarming, since memory and independence are already more fragile with age. The scary part is that copper can slowly accumulate in your body over time, and there's no easy way to get rid of it once it builds up. But here's the good news. You don't need to avoid copper completely. When it's balanced with zinc at about a 10-to-1 ratio, copper helps your body make energy in healthy blood cells. The real danger comes from supplements that overload you with copper without balancing minerals. The safer solution is to rely on natural foods like shellfish, beef liver, or even a little dark chocolate. These provide copper in the amounts your body understands, without tipping you into toxic levels. And this is the critical point. If you ignore this warning and keep taking cheap copper supplements, you risk not just wasting money, but harming your brain, your memory, and your healthy aging. Protecting your senior health means making smart choices today, guided by evidence from trusted health organizations, not by flashy labels or marketing tricks. Conclusion. These 10 vitamins and minerals might look harmless when you see them on a label, but as you've learned, they can do real damage if you're not careful. For seniors over 60, the truth is simple. Your body needs the right kind of nutrients, not the cheap synthetic versions that some companies push for profit. Reading labels, choosing trusted products, and relying on real foods like vegetables, fish, eggs, and dairy can protect your bones, your heart, and your memory. Little decisions you make every single day, what pill you take, what meal you prepare, add up to a big difference in your senior health and healthy aging. But remember, every person is different. Before making changes to your supplements or diet, always follow the guidance of your doctor or healthcare provider. That way, you can be sure the steps you're taking are safe and right for your own health. My biggest hope is that you now feel more confident, more aware, and ready to make choices that actually support your healthy life. Don't let marketing tricks steal your health or your money. Instead, lean on wisdom, prevention, and healthy habits that help you stay strong and independent for years to come. Thank you so much for watching this video and spending your time with me today. It truly means a lot. If you found this video helpful, make sure to check out the other videos on this channel. We have so many practical senior health tips, from foods that fight muscle loss to daily habits that boost your energy that will help you live a healthier, happier life. Apple to watch the next video right now and keep building the healthy future you deserve.